NASA is getting ready to send astronauts to the moon as part of the Artemis program, and the agency has selected SpaceX to safely carry the next 2 American astronauts to the lunar surface. But why did NASA choose SpaceX? Let's find out. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Elon Musk World, where we tell you all the latest news about Elon Musk and his multi-billion-dollar companies. In today's video, we are going to talk about why NASA chose SpaceX for the lunar mission. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our incredible videos. The US Space Agency recently provided an update on Artemis, its mission to send the next generation of American astronauts to the moon. Engineers will conduct a final dress rehearsal of the Boeing-built Space Launch System, a 98-meter-tall launch vehicle that is more powerful than the Saturn V rocket of the Apollo years. Then they'll choose a date for Artemis 1, an uncrewed mission to the moon later this year. The goal of that mission, which was supposed to launch in 2020 but is now billions of dollars over budget, is to test the SLS and its space capsule Orion before the first crewed trip orbits the moon in 2023. In 2025, a third mission with a goal of placing a landing party in lunar orbit could be launched. If the first 2 Artemis missions go smoothly, the current plan for the third involves astronauts meeting up with SpaceX's Starship in lunar orbit, which NASA has selected as their mode of transportation to the lunar surface. They will use the privately manufactured vehicle to descend to the moon and return with scientific samples after they have boarded it. 4 astronauts will be launched on the Orion spacecraft by NASA's powerful Space Launch System rocket for a multi-day trek to lunar orbit. 2 members of the crew will then transfer to SpaceX's Human Landing System, or HLS, for the first leg of their voyage to the moon's surface. They will board the lander for their short trip back to orbit after spending about a week exploring the surface, where they will meet up with Orion and their colleagues before returning to Earth. Their entire award value of the firm fixed-price milestone-based contract is $2.89 billion. SpaceX beat Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin for the $2.9 billion contract, forming a national team alongside aerospace heavyweights Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Draper. NASA had originally selected all 3 businesses for the initial part of the contract, with 2 of them being picked to build the lunar lander. NASA has picked numerous providers for other large initiatives to encourage competition and offer redundancy in the event that one fails to deliver. NASA stated it wants to sustain a competitive environment at this stage of the HLS program, according to a memo acquired by the Washington Post that explains why it chose SpaceX. NASA's current fiscal year budget did not support even a single contract award, it continued. As a result, SpaceX revised its payment timeline to accommodate NASA's present budget. But it moved ahead with SpaceX alone. It sent a message that it fully trusts the growing company to fly its astronauts for its signature human exploration program, Artemis, a campaign to return astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972. With this award, NASA and our partners will complete the first crewed demonstration mission to the surface of the moon in the 21st century, as the agency takes a step forward for women's equality and long-term deep space exploration, said Kathy Luters, NASA's Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate. This critical step puts humanity on a path to sustainable lunar exploration and keeps our eyes on missions farther into the solar system, including Mars. The implication should be obvious. A Starship capable of traveling to the moon and acting as a lunar lander is also capable of transporting astronauts there. And if the vehicle is less expensive than the SLS, which seems likely given that it is planned to be reusable, it will be difficult to justify using the Boeing rocket for any future deep space missions. This tendency has not gone unnoticed by SpaceX's competitors. SLS is already supplying Musk with work. Because the SLS would not be ready in time, NASA elected to launch a space probe to Jupiter's distant moon with SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket last year. The space agency was able to save $500 million as a result of the decision. To be honest, rocket development rarely follows a straight line, and SpaceX still has a lot of work to do to get Starship into space. However, Boeing and Lockheed Martin have watched as SpaceX exploited the Falcon 9 to monopolize the market for satellite and space probe launch vehicles, and subsequently the Dragon capsule to monopolize human spaceflight to orbit in the United States. Who's to say SpaceX won't be able to accomplish the same in deep space? During the HLS base period of performance, SpaceX worked closely with NASA specialists to inform its lander design and guarantee it met NASA's performance requirements and human spaceflight standards. These agreed-upon standards cover engineering, safety, health, and medical technology fields, and are a vital element for safe systems. This is an exciting time for NASA, and especially the Artemis team, said Lisa Watson-Morgan, program manager for HLS at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. During the Apollo program, we proved that it is possible to do the seemingly impossible: land humans on the moon, by taking a collaborative approach and working with industries while leveraging NASA's proven technical expertise and capabilities. We will return American astronauts to the moon's surface once again, this time to explore new areas for longer periods of time. The HLS Starship, which is planned to land on the moon, relies on SpaceX's proven Raptor engines and Falcon and Dragon vehicle flight experience. A roomy cabin and 2 airlocks for astronaut moonwalks are included in the Starship. The Starship architecture is planned to develop into a fully reusable launch and landing system for missions to the Moon, Mars, and other planets. The HLS award is made under the Next Space Technologies for Exploration Partnership, or Next Step 2 Appendix H Broad Agency Announcement, or BAA. In parallel with executing the Appendix H award, NASA intends to implement a competitive procurement for sustainable crewed lunar surface transportation services that will provide human access to the lunar surface using the Gateway on a regular recurring basis beyond the initial crewed demonstration mission. NASA and its commercial and international partners are returning to the moon with NASA's Space Launch System rocket, Orion spacecraft, HLS, and the Gateway lunar colony for scientific discovery, economic reward, and inspiration for a new generation. Throughout the Artemis program, the agency will fine-tune precision landing technologies and create new mobility capabilities in collaboration with its partners to enable exploration to new moon regions. On the surface, the agency has proposed constructing a new habitat and rovers, as well as testing new power systems and other initiatives. These and other breakthroughs, made possible by the Artemis program, will ensure that NASA and its partners are prepared for the next big step in human exploration: the exploration of Mars. To complete the mission, numerous starships would be used. A propellant storage starship will remain in low Earth orbit, providing extra fuel for starships to complete their journey. The ship that will take humans to the surface of the moon will take off from Earth, recharge using the propellant storage starship, and then continue on to lunar orbit. The Super Heavy rocket will give the necessary strength for Starship cislunar and interplanetary voyages to leave Earth's gravity. NASA had the option to choose 2 designs for the 2024 mission, but has instead decided to fully commit to SpaceX's proposal. While the Starship will be used to transfer humans from the surface of the moon to lunar orbit, SpaceX has much broader plans. It intends to expand the ship's capabilities in order to deliver the first humans to Mars. Because it runs on liquid oxygen and methane, astronauts might visit Mars, refuel using the planet's resources, and then either return home or push further. SpaceX has transported cargo and supplies to the International Space Station, as well as astronauts, in the years afterwards, defying critics who claim that human spaceflight should never be outsourced to the private sector, especially not to a company as green and brash as SpaceX. One of its Falcon 9 rockets detonated in 2015 while carrying cargo to the International Space Station for NASA. In 2016, another burst on the launch pad during an engine test. Then NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine ordered a safety investigation of the entire corporation after Musk used marijuana on a podcast aired over the internet. Despite the failures, SpaceX has been a huge success, successfully transporting people and dominating the launch business while cutting costs and drastically boosting mission numbers. We sincerely hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like and share it with your friends and family. Let us know if you have any questions or comments in the section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our incredible videos. You can also watch our other videos we have specially selected for you. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.